Hi everybody, and welcome to my Facebook Live here today. I am going to be talking about this, what I call the walk-in litter box, to help resolve and end some of the litter box problems. Cats who are missing the litter box, cats who may be completely avoiding using the litter box, they're going elsewhere in the home, to help cats who are just outside of the box, you know what I mean? Those cats who are having a bowel movement, maybe 5 or 8 inches away from the edges, you know, the typical litter box, or urinating in a puddle over the litter box. So first of all, let's talk a little bit about what's going on with that cat who may be not even choosing to use the litter box at all, and also, or why they're just outside the box. And I think honestly, with a lot of my clients, when they're just outside of the box, that's most frustrating because they're 9/10 of the way there, they're just not doing it. And you're still having that soiling in the house. Okay, litter box avoidance, inappropriate elimination is one of the titles for it. It can be for a whole multitude of reasons. And yes, we can get very in-depth talking about it. That's not my purpose here. My purpose here is to give you one of those 5 simple rules for keeping your cat in the box. This is one of the rules, which is a large litter box. It's very easy for the cat to walk straight into. No climbing over any edges, no having to, position. There's enough space in it for them to get their body in position to be able to go to the bathroom. And for many of our cats, depending on their age, whether we have multiple cats in the home, they need litter boxes that are 1.5 times the length of their body. Now, most cats, where's my stuffed cat? Here she is. You know what? This is like the average size of our average cat right now. Much larger than 35 years ago. When I graduated and started in my career as a veterinarian, many of our house cats were maybe about 30% less than this body size. They were thinner, and they tend to just be a little bit shorter, but our litter boxes have not gotten that much larger. And that also is partly because in our homes, we want to put them in a convenient place, like underneath the pedestal sink or somewhere in the bathroom, and we don't want it taking up that much physical space in the home. Yet we do need a larger litter box because for the cat not only needs to just get in the box and get the job done, they need to be able to walk in, paw around and find the spot they want to eliminate in. So they've got to be able to get in, turn around, sniff the spot they want to put that urine and stool in. It's a part of their marking behavior. Cover it back up and come out and do all of that with plenty of space. Okay, I want you to compare it to getting into a shower stall. If you're someone who is 6'5" and weighs 200 pounds, you are going to have a harder time in a 32-inch square shower stall as compared to someone who is 4'10" and 100 pounds. There are plenty of people, who are, because you have to get in, you have to move around. You can do it, but you prefer not to do it. Same thing with our cat. So this litter box here is basically that Rubbermaid keeper, the storage bin. Now, this box, typically, now the footprint, you want to look at the size on the bottom. That's going to be about 14 to 16 inches across here. And this is whatever, the width, the narrow end. And it's going to be about 21 inches along the length. Now, when you go to the store, you can double check the dimensions. If you have a cat who's over 12 pounds, you have to get the largest container like this you can. Don't get one that's a little bit shorter. A few inches makes a big difference to your cat and how much comfort they have. Remember, going all the way in the box, turning around and pawing. So get the biggest footprint you can, and then height matters as well. The reason for that is, now as cats age, the majority of them have arthritis here in the lower lumbar spine or here in the elbow. So when you think about it, that cat has to, go in, and when they're going to crouch, they're standing up, they're going to crouch to defecate or to urinate, they can't tuck their tush as well. This flexibility of the spine has been reduced. So consequently, they're kind of in a somewhat upright position as the best that they can do. And this is why they're shooting over the edge of an open litter box. or why in a smaller, these rounded top covered litter boxes, the litter boxes that are covered with the lip that's about, yay high, and a lid, and the footprint of it is no larger than about 12 inches by 10 inches, that cat doesn't have, their back is bumping against the wall of that covered litter box, and their head is hitting the top of that litter box, and that's why they avoid the litter box. They won't go in it. And then they're soiling around the house. So this is large enough to accommodate even a thin, aging cat's inability to curve the back and shoot the urine and stool down on the floor. Because now when the cat hits the wall, it's going to run in. It's not going to be making the mess outside of the litter box, okay? You really reduce that likelihood. If you have a large cat, let's say this is your cat, looks like this, right? This is like, though he's stuffed, about the size and dimensions of the average 15 or 16 pound cat. And, if he was actually alive, able to stand up, look at him. He takes up most of the space in this box. That's why you need to have a box this big as a starting point. Okay, so we get the Rubbermaid Keeper, a minimum of 14 inches. I really rather see 16 inches on the narrow end, 21 inches here, and then the height up here needs to be at least 16 inches high. Now, some cats like the lid on, some cats don't like the lid on. You can try it either way. That's also the nice thing about these kind of homemade keeper boxes, is that for around $10, you've got the lid and the base, and you can try it either way and see what your cat likes. Now for the doorway, in my video I shared on, my Facebook page, it's on my YouTube channel. It's actually one of my most popular videos. It's had over 70,000 downloads on it. It's making the best litter box ever. I demonstrate making the doorway at the end. And actually I do prefer for most of these boxes that if we can make the doorway at the end, because it's an easier straight walk-in for our cat, and then they kind of have this whole space for positioning and turning around. This particular litter box, okay, we have to accommodate it to our own homes and things. This particular litter box was a box that sat in my, my business office when I had my brick and mortar practice, and Banks, the black and white cat you've seen on a lot of videos, he would, this was his litter box because he'd spent a lot of time in my office. And where I could put the box between my desk, bookcases, storage of food and all these other things I had to have in my business office, was actually, we needed to position it this way against the wall. So that needed to be his doorway. So this, the cat can still walk in, but they do have to make a little turnaround to be able to get in position. Just something to think about. So if you have an elderly cat, like a cat over 12, a cat who may be having early kidney failure, kidney insufficiency because they lose potassium out through the urine, and this can create mild muscle weakness. They really need it to be very easy to just walk straight in, just like a walk-in closet. Just walk straight in, maybe take a slight turn, go to the bathroom and go. And especially our cats with kidney failure are making a lot more urine. And so because of the increased urine volume, they're gonna need to urinate more frequently. And so it needs to be very easy for them to get in. Diabetics, same thing. Diabetic cats, these would be your chubby old big cats, your chubby cats, they too are gonna have some changes in potassium level and neuropathy affecting their nerves. That's going to decrease the muscle strength in their legs, making it harder again to climb in and climb out of the box. So you want a box like this, preferably at the end, but even this is fine. Whatever works in the home where this box can be located. Irritable bowel disorder, they may have to have more bowel movements, or they have a harder, constipated cats, they may have a harder time passing it. They get in the box, they turn around, they kind of wait, they turn around. As long as this box is easy to get right into, it's going to help keep this in the box, and that literally can save a cat's life. All right, so let's talk about making the box. I already told you dimensions. Go to your Lowe's, Target, I don't care where, even Dollar General type of store, dollar store. And this is the vinyl, kind of, what do you want to call it, kind of softer vinyl. Now, if you have multiple cats in your home, a clear-sided bin, may be a good idea, because then the cat who's in the box can see if a bully cat is starting to come around to possibly ambush them on the way out, whereby now they could stay in the box until Bully Cat leaves, and it may help to reduce fighting in the home. Just a tip there. All right, so you get your container. Now, a couple tools you're going to need. You'll need a ruler. I want you to measure, I'll get my whole ruler here on this right. Yeah. Now, this lip here is 3 inches high. Binks is a young cat, okay, but honestly, if you have a cat over the age of 7, I want it to be 2 inches high. So I would trim this down even a little bit lower, okay? So you're gonna take a Sharpie, and a Sharpie is what marks on these tubs. So you're gonna need some kind of a Sharpie or permanent marker so you can see the marks, so you can cut out the doorway, you know, accurately and big enough. Because I just want you to make one little cut around and you'll be done. So you're gonna mark it off. I would go in about 1 inch from the edges, the edge here, and then of course we made this here. If you're on the end, and you can watch this in my video, you know, just make your 2 inches here for the height of the lip, and then coming this way and this way. Now, a few other construction tips are, it's much easier to cut this plastic if it's warm. And one of the easiest things I found to warm it up was to put a hairdryer running inside of here for a few minutes. It warms up the plastic, and that makes it a lot easier to cut through. If you are still in a sunny, warm climate, you could sit the bin with the lid off outside, maybe for half an hour, and the sunshine beating on the plastic will help to soften it up. Some people have said to fill it with hot water. Honestly, you're going to need to fill it with something like boiling water, because the water is going to cool off, and that'd be a lot of hot water. I found the hairdryer worked easiest for me. Okay, so you need a stiff kind of knife. This is an old-fashioned utility knife, also known as a box cutter. So a box cutter type knife like this, because you have the nice point on the end, or if you have a, you know, like a good handled paring knife that's pretty, you know, strong and a sharp edge, or a steak knife can work. Do not use a serrated knife. The serrated, you know, sawtooth edge is going to make all these burrs. Do not use that. Now, you know, I'm not going to go through, you can watch the video to actually construct it, but again, a couple tips is, you take the point, say I have this drawn out before I've actually started cutting. It's going to be warmest at the bottom with the hairdryer running. So take the very tip and just where those 4 lines, you know, the lines come together, take the tip and just hold it there and keep pushing until it goes through. And then you'll have the blade. And I found just like pushing as you go across is the way you get that smooth cut without any burrs. No cat has ever scraped themselves or irritated themselves or had any problems. You may see some comments people make like, oh, you're going to have to sawtooth that. That does not happen if you warm the plastic up and you're just letting this drag through, because what it's doing is it's literally melting the edge of the plastic and it self-seals over. If you're doing this and sawing, yes, you will create a jagged edge. Yes, you will have all the problems with litter and things getting stuck, so be patient and use some kind of a way to heat it up like that so that you can make the cut. And you can, like I said, watch it in the video. And then after that, you have the box made. Now then, and so this makes it very easy for any cat to walk into, to have the room to get around and to turn around. If they, get the lid off here. Yeah. You know, if the cat backs up, they're going to hit the wall here on the inside or there, so it just runs down and in. It doesn't get off and all over, you know, the house. Now, as far as litter goes, with only having like a 3-inch lip, and I don't know, it might be a little hard to see in here, you just basically cover the bottom with litter, barely an inch of litter. And this actually is really beneficial for a couple reasons. First of all, the majority of cats want to get to the absolute bottom. They want to scrape that litter away until they're at the flat plastic bottom of the box. And we have, and I know the litter companies are saying 4 or 5 inches. Please don't do that. I found it more, again, in my experience, after 35 years of being in general practice, when I told clients, no, no more than just enough to cover the litter, bottom of the pan, barely half an inch deep, because now when your cat digs, he actually will get to the bottom. That's what they want. They'll put their urine and stool there, and then they'll cover over. Then, because I'm asking you to clean the box twice a day, I get it, you may not do it twice a day, but if I ask you for twice a day, you'll probably do it once a day. It's just like flushing your toilet at home to our kitties. They want that clean box. So if you go in and you're going to scoop out that stool and urine every day, guess what? You go, I have to add a little more litter. So you throw in a half a cup of litter, and what does your cat do? Oh, wow, fresh litter. And the cat goes in there, and they use the litter box, which is exactly what we want them to do. So by less litter that is scooped daily, and then the client's just going to add a little bit more, again, it's helping to encourage the cats to use the litter box. Now, I am showing this here about the brand of litter, and this is the second part of my 5 simple rules for keeping your cat in the box. A study was done, by one of the American College of Veterinary Board of Behaviorists, comparing brand or like type of litter, and the comparison was between the litters with baking soda in them, generic clay litter, and this is a litter that has activated charcoal and no other descenting or deodorizing type agents in them. All 3 of these types of litters were the clay-based litter or scoopable clay-based litters. In this study that I believe was done in 2007, the cats preferred about 2 or 3 to 1 using the charcoal-based litter or the clay generic oil dry type litter as compared to the baking soda litter. And so we have cats pretty much equally liking generic clay and the charcoal deodorizing litter. Well, now we have clients at home, right? And we don't want the stink of the litter box. We want something that's going to reduce odor. Having the lid on there does reduce the odor, but again, it makes it kind of stinky for the cat. And if the box is stinky for the cat, he's not going to want to go in. So I recommended to my clients to use the charcoal-based litter. Now the charcoal-based litter has changed the trade name, the brand name, 3 times in the last 10 years. It used to be by Fresh Step. I think there was a sellout to Tidy Cat by Purina. Okay, fine, it's still the same product. Now Purina had it as Tidy Cat and had a nice little emblem on the side of the label showing, activated charcoal. And actually just last week I was at the store with my daughter. We were, shopping for pet supplies and we need a litter. And frankly, I was frustrated because I couldn't find the Tidy Cat with that activated charcoal symbol to be certain we were buying the correct litter, because some of these have Febreze in there now. Or they'll say like odor control, odor lock, and it'll be in a gray label, but it doesn't say it has the charcoal in there, which it won't have the charcoal in there then. Well, she saw this natural strong Tidy Cat, and it does say here activated charcoal. So they have changed the labeling, right? They changed the labeling. It is still Tidy Cat, but it now has this naturally strong and kind of the wheel of showing what is, and this top part is where it says activated charcoal. So all of you cat owners out there, veterinarians, veterinary technicians, shelter care people, behaviorist trainers, go to the store, take a picture of this, and send it to your clients or put it on your Facebook page, put it in your newsletter so everybody can keep up with buying the correct litter. I've had it happen where, got a cat box problem, I got it solved because we had to make this box, or using the charcoal litter, everything's hunky-dory, and the client calls and says he's not using the litter box. I say, okay, any changes in how well he's eating, any trouble getting up on perches, because I'm thinking about pain. Chronic pain, very common reason for not using box. No, all that's fine, Well, are you using the same litter? Yeah, I am. No, please read the label to me, because it's so easy to grab the wrong thing. And client said, yeah, it says Tidy Cat, and it has Febreze in it. And I said, can you look and see anywhere if it says activated charcoal? And the client said, oh, no. And I said, well, the cat probably doesn't like the Febreze. We have to find the activated charcoal. Client found it, cat was back in the box. So stick with this litter. Now, we can still have, even with a design like this, because of, again, it may just be hard for the cat to crouch, especially our big cats, that they might still be having their tail hit if they can't, sorry. If our big cat really still is having a little trouble standing up, and tucking his rear end, let's say he's a big Maine Coon, and his tail hits the end of the wall, so he doesn't like it, he may point his rear end out the door and still shoot out the door. A puppy pad, a Depends pad that goes on a human bed, but you can get the puppy, pads anytime at the pet store. Put underneath the litter box right in front of the door here. That will catch that urine for the cat who just is really still having so much trouble positioning, so it doesn't soil the house. Now, if that cat is still shooting out the door, you must get that cat into the veterinarian. Tell the veterinarian, take a picture of that, exactly where the cat is going and what the cat is doing. That tells us so much, because if this kitty has to shoot out this door in order to prevent the buildup of odor or have enough room in here, that's telling me he's having a lot of trouble with this rear end, or I can actually see the box and look at the cat's body size and say, well, we got to get something even bigger yet. We're going to have to get more creative in thinking how we're going to make him a box, another kind of box, but it really helps us to help you. One x-ray, a full body x-ray on the cat's body, where we're going to get the back and the lower spine and the elbow, is so helpful for screening for arthritis. Arthritis is not detected on physical examination. The amount of pain, the amount of changes in their gait is not obvious on exam or at home for us to really know. I personally think just a full body lateral x-ray of a cat aged over 7 years of age as just a screening, and maybe done every few years, is extremely helpful for screening for arthritis, for changes in the heart, looking at the bowels, the size of the kidney, and that's a good way to start for assessing for some of these aging problems in cats that can then relate to litter box problems. Thank you everyone for joining me. I look forward to your comments. I do have the course, the 5 Simple Rules for Keeping Your Cat in the Box, on my website. It's a half-an-hour presentation. People can watch it a lot of times. It will really help not only veterinarians and veterinary staff for helping, explaining to your clients what you need to do, that client needs to do to help their cat get back in the box. I go over these 5 steps. It includes video demonstrating how to make the box, also explaining why we need to maintain, say, these diets to reduce arthritis or reduce GI problems, etc. And it can, and for basically $20, it can save you in the vet office a lot of time with this very needed explanation and ability for a client to review and to set the environment up at home best for them. Shelters, you can also refer your people calling you who are having litter box problems for this course as well. Thank you very much. I look forward to your comments. I hope you all stay safe. COVID cases are rising in the Midwest. Frankly, it breaks my heart. Simple masking helps. I'm going to make my position on that one. And I hope you all stay safe, stay well, and take care. Thank you.